This is how she looks.
Yeah. Don't blow everybody up on social media, man. That's not cool.
That was
So,
all right. Welcome to the Growth with Josh Lewis Growth. This is his show, and this is Jeff J here to make your day. I've been doing this little rodeo for a while. This is a math action, totally how we do it. Eventually, I'm going to get the birthday gift that he gave me as my camera on here and my blue mic. But hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me enough, but mostly hear him. Because today, we're going to talk on the topic of being authentic and how to be authentic as he gives the little flex right there. Josh Lewis Growth. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
good. What is going on, my friend, my brother? How are you, sir?
Good. I'm actually really good. Actually, one of our fans. So, guys, we're actually going to open this up to people. I said I lied. I said I would post it in there. Christina, I admitted in here. Does this mean she's actually just going to come into it? I don't know how this works. I think it's going to be like 3 people. I thought there's a way.
You mute everybody. That's what you do.
All right. So we're figuring this all out here. So we got to mute her right now. All right. So, Josh, let's talk. We should almost share that same story we shared before on the live.
We can do another story.
What?
I said we could do another story.
All right, good. So what was one moment that you didn't like on here, that you found out about me, or that you just couldn't stand me about?
I mean, listen, I don't know if that's the greatest way to put it, but I think one way that we actually probably didn't get along with each other was, dude, I think the only really one that comes to mind is the one that I mentioned before. But, you know.
Just for anybody, because they're not hearing, basically, I asked Josh, because I'm the social butterfly, hey, Josh, 2 girls come out, let's go hang out. There's a hottie and a girl who's kind of good looking, but like, kind of clingy, and go out. The good looking girl, of course, goes after Josh Lewis. Thank you. Both Jackies who I'm going to start branding you as that. I don't know if that'll get in trouble. Like, just run with it. But anyway, so the girl was really digging you. I know, engaged girl. She's engaged. So off the market, but you get the second best right here. Hey, I like, this is being honest. So,
no, I know you're hysterical. No, so basically what happened is, I went there and just to go with you, and then there was another girl that was there that I don't know if you were, I don't even think you were interested in, but the other girl that was giving you attention you didn't like, and the girl that was giving me attention, you got upset that she was giving me attention because you wanted her attention. So you were getting upset, and you were kind of throwing a little bit of an angry pity party's a bad way to put it, but you were getting upset, and I didn't know what to do with the situation. I was kind of upset because it was like, yo, I got a girl talking to me. You brought me out, and then and then you were quite upset at that moment. What the only other times I think that you and I didn't get along is like when I would be quarterback at backyard football, and then
Lauren Rover, she's a registered nurse now.
Good for her. So is when you and I would be
like this is how she looks.
Yeah. Don't blow everybody up on social media, man. That's not cool. So anyway, I think one of the things that you were only like really upset about was like what? No, it was when like you would we'd be playing football and you would be open, but I wasn't looking your way, and you'd be like, I was open. You get upset at me. Those are the only times where I could think.
Because they cover me a lot. I was pretty good at football, right?
Very good, yes.
Yeah. So anytime I was open, like then you try and force me the ball and it would be a pick, and I was never open it again. So
yeah, I know. I get it.
I was like Terrell Owens,
I get it.
Call for the ball.
All right. Let's talk being authentic. And
can I share the time when I don't like when you drove me nuts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the list is very long. Go ahead.
No, it's actually really not. So you've always been amazing. I think the one time it really was was when I know what I think it was I saw how great you were, and and you're gonna know the story I think too. And I was so immature at the time that I wound up just trying to force you to do what was almost a lie, because I used to lie to myself. I used to tell myself I was the best, and I told you, lie to yourself, that like I forget what it was, but I remember throwing honey mustard on the ceiling because I was so frustrated because you weren't just doing what I said. And yeah,
because that was back at moments where I was just upset and I was depressed, and there was nothing that was going to get me out of it. And you thought that you could get me out of it. And
can I tell you something, Josh? I can't reach you no matter what. I've learned that now, even still today. Like, actually, not so much, because we did have one session that was pretty good. But like, when I tell you something, the Yaya Bacalar's course or whatever is pretty similar to what I've been saying like all this time. You know?
I would say there are a lot of similarities. He gives things that I like scripts and stuff like that, because I'm very certainty driven, so I like scripts. You know what I mean? So if you were able to do something like that, you could do a great course too as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so as we're speaking, I have the book Getting Rich in a Recession, which has a script that anybody can monitor. This is a plug. And I have a course that I was going to put on I got to cancel June 9th on Kajabi. I was going to use it because Sean Cannell uses something, and it was basically going to have how to make connections quicker and how to solve problems for people and how to lead sales, like I've done time and time again, right? So and help people do it. I help people do it all the time. And I do have a way to do a script, and I have a way to do a script online that'll save you time without using a software like I used to use. So a lot of good stuff coming up too.
So what's one thing that you would that you are currently struggling with right now that you just feel like you're always hitting a wall?
Right now, probably like I know what it is. I sleep in later than I've ever slept in. That's what it is. For some reason, like now I sleep more than I ever slept. You know how I used to sleep like really like not a lot. Now I think because of Corona and the scare, I started sleeping a little bit later, and now I'll wake up probably like 8 o'clock now, and I don't like it about me at all. I used to wake up like 5, 6, kind of out of bed, 7 at like the latest. Now like it's 8. The bed feels so nice. I'm in the futon. I used to get the futon. I sold the bed to get the futon, not to be comfortable. I'm getting too comfortable in the futon. I might need to sell the futon and sleep on the floor now. So that's the biggest thing is I feel like I'm sleeping too much. That's why lights on right now. I'll stay up till 2 a.m. That's another thing too. I should probably go to bed earlier, and I think I'd wake up earlier. So just get that in. The one thing I have been doing well though is before I go to bed, I keep a notepad. I write down the 3 things I want to do right in the morning, and that's helped me get out when I get up at 8 a.m. Help me really stay focused on. Okay, I got to quote this person out for Windows. Oh, got to do this for Changing Lives Coaching. Oh, got to do this for as well as my funnel guy. And
that's one of the reasons why I started filling my schedule up, because when you wake up and you see like all the things to do, you're like, oh, okay, I gotta get up because there's a bunch of stuff that I gotta do,
What people don't realize is the schedule is freedom, right? So everybody's like, oh, I don't want to schedule, but it is freedom. Remember, with the schedule, you control your own life. You're in control of your life. But if you write down everything in your schedule, like I'll show you my schedule for today. And it's funny because JC Tanati, I always say my multimillionaire mentor that's in there. Actually I moved my schedule, but so when you have it all like in here, boom, 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 these blocks, you have somewhere to be. I actually woke up one of the days, like not feeling it, right? And then I looked at my full schedule. Oh, I got to be up for this lady through the door, right? And getting up, moving, right? Going out, I saw this little old lady, lost her dad, or lost her husband, the whole deal. And I wanted to make her, and this is what I coach. If you ever, with anybody who's not feeling good, go help somebody else out. And sometimes it's so hard to get out there. So when you have a full schedule, you have to be somewhere. And then I see that the lady just wanted to be heard. She's a little old lady, Susan. I don't know if I should say her last name, Susan. She has like that flowery wallpaper. She's like that little lady. And I went in, I just listened to her talk about her stories. I thought she had nobody. And guess what? Today she was all happy. She had a full schedule. She went to doctors because of COVID. went to this, like all this stuff. And she had a full schedule. And tomorrow's her son's birthday. And like, I'm like, and then she was smart with her money because she financed it. And she was like, I saved her $2,000 from another company that we won't mention here. And long story short, man, she goes, you know, could I make the $2,000 because they don't pay for 25 months, right? So could I make that 25,000, that 2,500 in that many years, in 2 years? No, I don't think I could. But she was already asking herself better questions. This was like a 73-year-old, 83-year-old little old lady. You know, I was impressed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
That was really cool.
So what else? What about in your work, or what else are you struggling with? Do you find yourself struggling with anything at work, or is it just in your personal life?
Not having all these quotes. Like, so there's this guy, Edward Chung, nice guy, really with Windows. Right now, dude, we're in beta. It's probably been the busiest I've been with window quotes. I have so many appointments, so many quotes, and some people are just thinking they want me to quote them up everything and send it to them. And I want to do it then. I always present a price right then. A lot of Grant Cardone teaching, always present a price, always present a way to salute it. So the guy didn't have time. So he gave me a whole list, and he wants me to send it to him. There's another lady who wants me to send a margin window to her and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing. Maybe organizing that better. I actually am going to go get folders tomorrow. That's what I put on my to-do list. So because I have so many leads before, I can kind of keep them in. Like I don't even know if I have them all organized on the floor right now. So I don't want to, but that's what I'm really working on. That's like Josh Rockwood, our boy, getting mad I'm not filling out my life insurance thing. But dude, let me get to people need their windows.
What so what about you? Do you do anything for fun? Have you done anything for fun? What are you doing for fun now?
I go to work at the restaurant, at the steakhouse, and I steal girls' aprons, like Kayla and Riley's aprons.
That's what you do for fun.
She said I took all her pens too. I did not take her pens. I lose pens. You know what? I need to buy stock in pens.
So you probably did take her pens.
I did not. Seriously, that is horrible.
Because if you just admitted you lose pens, so you probably took it and lost it.
Dude,
I don't know where it is.
Like when I take pens, I give them to people because I'm like, I have better pens in someone else's life than mine. I don't know how to keep track of them. Like I hope when I have kids, they're nothing like pens to me because if so, I'll lose my kids.
Oh, God, you're funny. All right. So what about, obviously we know what your dreams are. They keep you awake, but how are you working towards them?
We're interviewing you, and I feel like you're interviewing me. Are you good?
I am. You see how that works out? Yeah. That's what I tend to do. But yeah, so what about your dreams? How are they working? Like everything that you're going towards, how are you moving towards them, and what roadblocks do you have as you go towards them?
Yeah, so as I say, my dreams keep me awake. I love that. I can't wait till I have a hat. I have my boy Mike T-Rex hat on here. I've talked about that. But yeah, what are you made of? That's his moment. Well, I want to get that. Actually, I'm having another dude. Sorry, what was the question again?
How are you moving towards your dreams? And you got distracted by your hat. So if you're getting distracted by your hat, I mean,
we gotta bring
what's going on.
For the last 10 minutes, we're gonna start opening this to other people. It's got like a private thing, and then we'll bring people in at the end here. There's more in the chat here. All right. Sorry. Yeah. So how am I working towards my dreams? Yeah. Dude,
and what struggles do you find?
The best thing I did with the 7K coaching I invested in, and I have it written down, was I did a 5-year plan. I think I showed you the big picture of that. I give it away in my $250 sessions for $250. I guess I guess I don't really give it away. But I give it away, and I said, this is the best thing I got of the 250 coaching session was exactly this. You basically write what your life would be 5 years from now. So I'm now 2 years from the 5-year plan I wrote. I want to redo it because I'm actually kind of like where I am. I'm invested in the software business. I have 2 softwares that, could take off at any time. One was making money. The other one just needs a little bit more funding. And I think we'll be okay. We're going to be on the Amazon Prime series too, right? I wanted to do that. That's going to be cool. And that's also by the executive producer girls, one who wants to invest in my softwares. I wanted to learn sales and get really good at it. And right now I feel really good at it because we just closed a few deals. Some days feel good, some days feel great. I guess
there's no bad for you.
There's no
It's just
bad.
either good or great.
Yeah,
Some days feel
no
good, some days
positive
feel
yet for
great.
me.
That you know what? That would be a good title for a book for you, right? Some days you feel good, some days you feel great. You know?
I guess it's just a good day. But yeah, so yeah, pretty good, man. I actually want to close the chat here because it's actually distracting.
It's distracting you.
I know, and she's doing it on purpose.
So you see that conversation we just had?
Yes.
So it followed a frame. Did you learn about this on the call today or no?
Yeah, so I do spirit. You saw my coaching session. I do something very similar to that, where I kind of ask her.
Right. Yeah. So basically, if you got a warm
jaywalk.
Yeah. So if you got a warm lead, you don't just want to call them up and say, "Hey, buy my shit." You know, you don't want to do that.
Dude, I had a dude, and we might use his work because, like, if the product's good, you might use it anyway. But it's a horrible way to start, you know?
Right. Right, exactly. So he was talking about using, it's called Ford.
Who's that, Jaywalk?
Yeah, it's Ford. It's not even a script. It's called Ford. So first you start off with the family.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
For F,
go ahead, say it.
Right? So this is what I just did.
I gotta write this down.
You start off with the family.
Guys, take notes too. Right?
How's everything going? How are you doing? How's the family going? So you do Ford. So F stands for family. O stands for occupation. How's your work going? You know, how's everything going with work? R stands for recreation. So what are you doing for fun? What's your fun look like? And then D stands for dreams. So especially if it's a warm lead, if it's somebody that you knew, it's like, yeah, remember when we used to talk about how, hey, we were gonna do all this stuff? Are you still working on that? Because I was thinking about doing stuff like that too. And then you get them through with everything. You just literally catch up with the person. You're not looking to sell them anything. It's just you're literally catching up with the person. And then with the law of reciprocity, they're going to say, well, how are you doing? And that's when you say, I'm doing fantastic. You know, I just joined a business, or I just did this, and I'm just, you know, I'm actually doing this right now. Actually, I'd love it if you could help me take a look at this, or whatever it is, you know, if you feel moved to actually make the offer to the person, because you just found out how their family's doing. You found out their occupation, if it's good or if it's bad. You found out what they're doing for fun, if they have any time for fun. And you found out, are they working towards their dreams or they're not working towards their dreams? So you find out what all their high points and their pain points are. So when you go through all those things, you're like, okay, so now you have all this knowledge, right? You know what's going well and what's not going well. So then you're able to present your product or present whatever it is, or not even present your product. If it's not something that's going to work for them, it's like, yeah, man, I'm busy. It's like, that's awesome. Great. I'm so happy that you're busy right now. Listen, I just got started with this company, or whatever it is. And then you're saying, do you know of anybody who was looking for this or looking for that? And when you lead with service and you lead with love, what she was saying is, you're going to get people who are more compelled to be like, yeah, let me listen. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, buy my shit, you know, which is really compelling. I like it a lot.
People don't know that jaywalking, where you got the Ford, which is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams that I wrote down. Where you got that from was a part of, thanks to Josh, who's connecting with all these groups. I think he even was listening to Grant before I was, and I just 10x'd all what I went. But he found a group of people, like-minded individuals. It was probably the best $100 I spent to be in a group with just so many influencers, and they have people speak every week on topics just like this. It's part of the Billionaire group, right? The Team Takeover. We're not.
Yeah. So Ed Milet.
Did you hear me reference it in the Alex Morton interview?
No, I did not hear you do that. No, I didn't.
I did. Did you listen to the whole thing all the way through or no?
No, I watched the first like 25, 26 minutes of it. And yeah, I got to go back and watch it. Sorry.
How long? It was an hour, huh?
Yeah, some of your podcasts are long. The one that I listened to the whole thing all the way until the end was like the Brad Lee one and the Elena one.
Right? It's got to get bigger than named yes for you. Alex wasn't big enough then.
No, it's not. You guys had great chemistry.
It was more just fun. There wasn't as but at the end, I asked him a very important question that helps with this business. That because I asked him for you actually. I keep people on for an hour that I want to learn from. Because like that's the thing. Why? Like Elena,
Absolutely.
I knew you got a half hour. I said, yeah, okay, let's see how that works. You know?
Right. So, dude, there's only 3 things that I do right now, and you know what they are. It's Chili's,
Yep.
it's YouTube, and then it's the Miliare group. And right now, I love what that guy Charlie said on the call today. He said, I'm OCD. I'm an obsessive compulsive dreamer. And I was like, yo, that's me, dude. Because right now with the Miliare group, that's me. You know, I just like after I get off the call, I got to be at work in the morning, but I'm gonna study a little bit. So like, and it pushes me to do it because I want to refine my craft so well. Because actually being able to get into a company, dude, where everybody, you've seen it, they're so they love helping.
You wish you could hire people like this, you know?
Dude, oh my God,
and you're working with them. Like they're all helpful.
Yeah, they're all helpful, and it's you got multimillionaires in the group, and they're also they want to serve everybody. You know, it's like, how can I help? You know, and it's
which you got to think is how they got there, dude. Even the great Lewis House in my life, you saw that video with me and him, right? What's he say? Service always wins, right? Pick up, and I did this, dude. This is what made my coaching business go up. He said, write out a number of people. Remember, he gave me something to do. I took action. You want to help and do that. And that's what I do. I just coached a girl last night. She sent me here. Actually, I don't know if she'd probably get mad if I played her audio, but she had a little win. All right.
Yeah, don't do that.
We had a bad. I'll talk about her a little bit here. I won't mention her name. She got let go. She was a Porsche sales girl. She made about 50K a month. 15K. All right, 10 to 15K a month selling Porsche. She was one of the top. So what she thought was one of the top producers, right? Selling out in Los Angeles, where people are buying with all these things. She was told by her manager to that day when she booked the coaching session with me, I'm not going to let you. You're not coming back. We don't need you anymore, right? So the girl, dude, is brokenhearted on the thing, and I'm all, let's solve problems, right? But really, what she needed was
somebody to listen.
Yeah, and dude, you know what? I'm so like, people are paying for this. Let me give them results. Let me give them the blueprint. What I've learned, and I just did it with my past clients, Amber, who's she has a whole great vision on. I'll talk about that later. But anyway, just listen to them eventually, and then at the end, you know, not everybody is ready to go boom, boom, boom right away. Some people really need to sort some stuff out, you know. And then I feel therapist, dude.
So I was going to say, the one thing that I've learned about coaching people is it either falls into 2 different categories. 1, you're coaching them, or 2, you're counseling them. And when it gets to the point where you're counseling, it's like, this person doesn't want to fix their problems. They just want to talk about their problems, you know? Which I'm not saying.
People need to talk them out to solve them and figure out where they're at, you know? Right. That's kind of that's what I've learned. Christina's nodding her head here, and especially with girls, I think. Not even girls, guys too, man. I have to do it. I think probably more with women. But you know me, dude. I'll go down. I don't care. It'll be the clerk at the store when I went to go buy my ice cream. Which, by the way, I've been eating a ton of ice cream in this lockdown. Birthday cake. Friendly's ice cream has blue, like the blue frosting flavor. They have white with the chocolate crunchies, and then they have other with the chocolate crunchies. All throughout is the best thing.
Those are Oreos, right? Or are they called chocolate?
Yeah, the Oreo crunchies, dude. I literally ate the whole thing in a day. I went back here tonight. This is 2 for $5, and they were sold out. And I should have bought 2. I only bought 1. See, always.
So that would go underneath recreation for you. That's what you've been doing, eating ice cream.
Anyway, ice cream. What were we saying?
But yeah, no, one of the things that I'm struggling with, I'll be vulnerable for a second.
Talking. That's what I was going to say. Yes, Christina reminded me. When I go out to the store, the clerk, if they're even nice, go, hey, how you doing? I go, oh, really? I have 14 window quotes to do. I have this, and I don't know where to start. And then as I talk it out, I'm like, oh, know what? I'm going to do the siding quote first and get it done. Boom. Thank you.
Right. Well, you know, dude, I've known you obviously my whole entire life. the store clerk doesn't even have to ask you how you doing. You will literally go, how you doing? And I've seen you do it because you just want him to acknowledge you so you can start talking. And then they're like, hey, like, yeah, crazy day today. You'll just go in and just tell them everything. And I'm just like, yeah, number 10 on 4, whatever it is, you know? And you're just like, yeah, I just booked a coaching session. And the guy's like, okay.
Yeah,
but then you usually get it. You get it to the point where you talk so much to the point where it's like they get this glazed over look, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, what's he saying? And then they really start listening, right? Because like the first 20 seconds or so, they're kind of like, and then they're like, I like this dude's vibe. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, okay.
100%. Dude, I know that, where I'll actually say enough fluff the first 20 seconds to get them out of that haze, that whatever I know, I'll get to them there. Like, I've seen that many times. Dude, a lot of people, you know, I say it this way, they're carcasses walking around life, and they just need to be woken up. And because I'm so alive and so going towards it, I just want to wake people up. And dude, like, literally, yeah, I'll tell a guy, they're like, how you doing? I'm like, I just booked a $250 coaching session. Man. Someone paid me, and the kid me $22K last year that I coach, and a girl has a best-selling book called Depressed to Success. Isn't that crazy? And the girl's like, I'm depressed. I'm like, then you should buy the book. And then like, Vanessa, I got a book for you. You know, like, I got a sale, but you got to read it. But she was that Instagram model, and now she coaches other Instagram models who are depressed. So now they don't have to make as much money selling foot photos, and they can actually help their thing.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, isn't every Instagram model borderlining on depression?
Well, yeah,
guy
and
and
girl. Making money, dude. Those likes don't buy you money, man. They put up these likes and they take off. Even my good girl that Christina knows, Anna Gonzalez, right? She even did a whole little spiel about how she's like, I can't take. She's a Spanish chick, right? She's like, I took down so many of my bikini pictures, not so many, because people need the value of the content. I left up a few of them.
Well, I mean, it's like it's like getting a ton of TikTok views. I mean, like that. You got a bunch of people watching, you got a bunch of eyeballs on you, but can you convert it? You know what I mean? Because you got a bunch of these kids mostly who are on it, and now a bunch of adults are on it. But most of the kids, from 13 to 17, they don't have recurring source of income, so it's not like much of what they're going to buy, you know? Although, with the pandemic, it's now everybody's on it, you know?
Everybody's going live on Instagram. Everybody's everywhere. On social media, it's blowing up some more. That's why me and Ahmad, my software business partner, pivoted to e-commerce, because people are buying baby clothes. So my ex texted me, slanty face, right there, Natalia Lamar. I don't know what that means. What does slanty face mean?
It means, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I told her, going live on IG with Josh. I want her to follow me on IG.
Oh, and then she put slanty face?
No, I said, what about you? And she put home, slanty.
Give me your best slanty face.
You ever see that TikTok thing where you ever see that one?
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I can't really do it. So under Jeff J. Cunningham on TikTok, I just do all the most like stupid, funny things, just like trying to learn TikTok. Under Jeff the Entrepreneur, I'm just going to do money tips so that way I can see it on TikTok and then kind of bring it over to my Make More Money podcast, my YouTube channel, my book, Getting Rich in Recession, or however we're going to title it. Which is actually,
and some days you got good days, and some days you have great days. Ed Milet's going to be on Wednesday, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
The BPM. Anyway, so do you want to talk about anything more vulnerable? Because that's what we were originally talking about, and then I started asking you a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, you went in that. Yeah. So, is it hard for you to? I say authentic. What's the difference between authentic, vulnerable, and emotional? An emotion. What's the difference between all those three words? Because I think they're like, oh, I clump them in all the same. Is there a difference?
I think if you're literally what I like about defining words is if you're defining a word, you become it. Right. So if you categorize a bunch of different words and say it all means the same thing, it could, Absolutely, because perception is reality to whatever you want to say. But if you're being authentic, it means you are being the realest you possibly can. No matter what the situation is, you're being authentic, right? You're letting them know, or if somebody said, hey, what did you think of that restaurant? You're going to say, you know, I thought the landscaping was nice, but to be honest, the food was not good. You're going to be authentic. Vulnerable is where you're going to, you kind of open yourself up. And vulnerable means you could get hurt by opening yourself up, you know? Emotional, I think emotions are great things, but emotional mean different things. You can have somebody who's highly emotional and very angry. You can have somebody who's highly emotional and very happy. You can have somebody who's highly emotional and they're very sad. And
so authentic probably is the one word that kind of connects all of them, kind of, right?
yeah, I think if you were to use a word that's more of a connector word, I think would be, yeah, more of authentic. But I mean, being emotional is, you can be emotional about anything, you know, if you put emotions behind it. You could be emotional about.
Here's the thing. This is with the whole COVID stuff and everything going on and George Floyd stuff, right? It's all about, it's nobody had emotions, right? And a lot of the biggest thing is keeping emotions in check. If nobody had emotions, we're all robots, Elon Musk wins or whatever, and it's all AI, right? And I love AI. But like that, emotions are what makes us all like where we're at. You know what I mean? That's how important they are. Like you take them out and we're all robots, you know?
Right.
So
yeah.
It's when you let your emotions out. When you let your emotions get out of control, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Emotion.
is it hard for you to be authentic? Because I think it's, to me, it was. Believe it or not, it was. Now I'm just like, I'm me, man, you know?
So it's, for me, the past couple of years, it's been ridiculously hard for me to be authentic. And now me being vulnerable right now is because I had bad anxiety. So when I had bad anxiety, I was afraid to share that I had bad anxiety because I didn't know it was anxiety at the time. I was just panicking. And it was very hard for me to admit that. So it was easier for me to cover it up. Right. So I wasn't being authentic to myself and I wasn't being authentic to other people, which in turn made the problem worse. And one of the things is, you know, your intuition tells you so much. And if you don't ignore it, you'll be able to solve a lot of problems quicker. But we tend to ignore it sometimes because while I was going through everything, my intuition was telling me like, dude, you can't do this. You can't fix this. And I was so, I'm the growth guy. So I was so like, no, I'll fix that. I'll figure out how to grow. And then what I didn't realize was I was being an idiot and I was being really an egomaniac, even though I didn't think of myself as being an egomaniac. And what I mean by that is not being like arrogant, but being like, I can fix it. I can't fix it. I needed to talk to somebody. I needed to go to a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, you know, a psychologist. You
read every book on studying the mind. What's that called?
Right. So that's why like knowledge is great. And I think having all the knowledge and then talking to somebody or going to a doctor can be extremely helpful because you can know if what the doctor's saying sounds good or if it doesn't sound good, you know. I was very fortunate. I had a doctor. You saw the doctor. He was like,
I feel bad. Josh Rockwood asked for the link and I never gave it to him. I just realized that and we're almost over here.
He just did he?
But dude, yeah. So here, let me ask you this though, because so yeah, 100%. That's a good thing. So then now you're being more authentic to it. I think one of your videos on anxiety I really liked. I like your videos more when you're authentic and don't speak from the expert view. Just me sometimes like your one make my perfect when you just get angry and you're just like, hey, this is how I got over anger. You know, don't set too many rules, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing is being authentic. Like I feel if I don't talk to somebody, I'll go crazy. Like I will not, they'll go nuts. So I get it out, right? So for someone like you, but I think this is true for everybody, some people don't realize that, right? So everybody should get stuff out. Everybody's good. I think it's harder. I used to teach behavioral middle school kids, and I used to notice once the kids were nonverbal, And once they started being more verbal, they started solving their problems, right? So I was always good to go with the therapist. For whatever reason, man, I think because maybe the kids wanted me to shut up or whatever, they felt good talking and opening up around me. They always would, and I always felt better because they would talk.
But you understand why I wasn't like that, right? Because you were very talkative, like how you are right now. Christy was, even mom was, and dad was. He would pontificate. So I learned the skill of listening and observing. But what it taught me was, because your beliefs come from your experiences. So my experiences growing up was I listened and I learned a lot, right? It's how I was able to read when I was 2. It was how I was able to know multiplication tables when I was 3, right?
You were able to read when you were 2?
Yeah, we got videos of it somewhere. Or 2 or 3 years old, whatever it was. Remember they had the video of me holding up the book and I'm just
all right. We did the humble brag here.
Well, I'm saying
I'm a Floyd Mayweather. I still don't know how to read.
What I'm saying
Sorry, Floyd.
What I'm saying is, I listened and I observed. So what it taught me was my frame of reference was saying like everybody else's talks, but I don't. So I learned that. And one thing I learned was when you're a child, you are very easily influenced by your surroundings. So if your surroundings are giving you information, right? If your information is saying that I should listen, then you're going to believe that as you grow up. And it's still into me to this day. I'm 33 years old. I'm like, listen. And for you, it was the exact opposite. You were talking. So your frame of reference tells you that you need to talk because that's what your experience was when you were a child. You would talk, you would get it all out. And there is good things to that. And I was holding on to those things. I was like, I just need to listen and observe. And I think what happens with that is you come to a point in your life where you realize that everything you learned as a kid either works for you or it's going to work against you. And the things that work against you, you need to dissect them and figure out quick. If they're not adding value to you, you can make the choice. You can make the choice to talk more, to actually get things out, or talk less, or whatever it is, right? But if it's not serving you as an adult, change it and change it up quick. And that was one of the things that I had to learn too, was like, yeah, I got to get it out, So it's one of the things that I tend to do now, especially with Ashley. I go, if she's bothering me or if I'm bothered by something, I talk about it right away. Because I've learned, like what Tony Robbins says, resentment is the #1 killer of relationships. If I get resentful in any way because I'm holding something in, which I used to do all the time. Remember, I was so angry and I was so pissed off all the time. It's because I held everything in and I obsessed with it because I'm very obsessive. And I'm so, how could they? And now I don't have time for that. I don't want to get mad.
That's why I call you now.
It takes up so much energy.
Yeah, I'm so happy because I get everything out. And when I don't, I'm calling you all the time to try and talk or something, or going live, or I'll go live when I'm upset. All right, so really quick, this was whatever this was, the second episode of Actually. The first one was Overcoming Fear. The Growth Show, we had a person nodding away. I unmuted her. Her name is Christina Teeny Tiny Cupcake, better known as, which we'll talk about that. So, hey, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this, what we're talking about here?
So what Josh just said, honestly, I feel like I just had an epiphany of me and my own sister. So same thing, just like Jeff. And I feel like that's why when I first saw Jeff for the very first time, he has so much energy, but I was like, oh my God, I relate to this guy and I understand him because I'm the same way. And I have to dial it back a lot because I'm that same person. Since I was a kid, the talk. And my sister was more the sit and observe kind of person. And to this day, I'm the one who won't shut up. And she's the one who kind of will sit and assess. And that's even now part of her job, sit and assess certain situations.
Yeah.
And that's it literally, like, just hearing you speak, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what it is. It's one of those things now being in sales, a full-time job. It's something I have to learn is to shut up and listen to the person. Because even when they're like, yeah, sounds good. Like, I'll get this, and this. I'm still trying to I feel like I'm still trying to show the value and sell. When it's like, no, stop talking, take the order, say thank you. You did a wonderful thing, and you're gonna love your product and move forward.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I did a video that helped me on my YouTube channel, and I talked about the best way to close the sale. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I stopped the music. I go, shut up. And I did it more for me than anything else, because I noticed when I first started that, and like I've gotten way better at listening now. Like the best sales, I probably speak the less. I let them talk. It's all true stuff. I always hate it because I love talking so much. You know, I feel like, oh, it's fun, right? And you're very much the same way. So
yeah, it's going against a grain. It's going against like something you have to be very mindful of, because it's part of you. So it's like same thing as it's a part of who I am at my core. So I feel like I have to keep it top of mind when I'm talking to people, to consciously stop and keep things concise. That's the one thing too that I was struggling hard with, is keeping things concise. I
have a question. When you guys do that, so both of you are very similar like that. So I have a question. Do you feel, let's say you walk out of it, you close a sale, right? You talk to somebody and you stopped yourself from talking. Does it solidify the fact that, yes, that's what I need to do? Or are you like, man, I could have got something else? Or are you like, no, that's what I need to start doing. I need to start doing more of that. Do you reflect on it? Like, I didn't even say anything, or that doesn't feel right to me. I can't believe I got the sale. Or is it like, okay, do you actually reflect on it and go, yeah, all right, I got to do more of that. I got to stop talking, say my one or two words, ask them a question, let them give the information, and then sign right here. Well, how does it feel? Does it feel like I got to do more of that, or do you feel like, no, I should have talked more still? That's basically what I'm trying to say.
For me, I feel like it was the right thing to do. If I'm getting the sale, because I'm always doing now, you know, I look at grant stuff too, but I'm always doing now the second sale of the, oh, would you like XYZ, as just something to help them out even further, like service them even more. Like, I know we discussed, you know, this product in the beginning. Is it something you still want to do? So I'm closing and then closing again. But I do feel like when I stop myself from talking at a certain point, even after I get the sale, I know it was the right thing to do. But it's funny because after, like in my head, I'm like, oh, I feel like there was something left unsaid. I feel like this was left open-ended just because I didn't get out what I wanted to say. Because I'm a talker. I'm Italian. I'm full Italian. And I'm a talker at heart as well. So it's just like double whammy. It's brutal. So yeah, I know it was the right thing to do though. It reaffirms it. It's just something I have to keep on practicing and keep doing. But what Jeff said too about people need to talk through their problems, that's so true. Sometimes and I feel like I'm the only salesperson currently where I am. And I will literally call my sister or my mom and ask and like kind of work out a sales thing that I'm trying to figure out. And I have my answer just talking to them. I literally will talk about my problems to myself too. And it helps just because you're hearing it out loud. And when you hear it out loud, either to another person or yourself, you might be able to, like Jeff was saying, when he talks to people, he tells them about his day and it's like, oh my God. Yeah, thanks for that, dude. I didn't say anything. I was just listening to you, but cool.
It's kind of like if you've ever done something, and I don't know if either of you been in this position before, but let's say you have to train somebody to do something, and it's something you do every single day, so you don't even think about it. But as you're vocalizing what you're doing, it tends to sink in a little bit more. You're like, oh yeah, I do this all the time. And the reason why we do it is, it's almost like a new epiphany happens. And once you get it out and you're actually verbalizing it, it's like, yeah, the reason why we do this is because A, B, and C. And holy shit, I didn't really realize I was doing all that until now. I don't know. When I train people, I try and get as much information from them as possible, see if things make sense to them. But as I'm describing things, when I'm talking it out, it always like sinks in deeper. And I'm always like, whoa, that's the reason why we do it. Yeah, that's right. And for me, I think that's exactly how talking things out probably is too as well, which means I should take a page out of Jeff and Christina's book and just actually start talking things out a little bit more, as opposed to just keeping it all inside here.
Even when you're trying to sell, and this is the thing, so one thing that helped me, I'm big in affirmations and telling myself stuff before it happens. So like I knew my problem. People used to all the time, Jeff, oh, you have one mouth, 2 ears, blah, blah, blah. And I used to just want to punch them in the face, right? Because it's like, dude, come on, just listen, like, relax, you know? Like, I know that I can see my face, you know? But the thing is I told myself I'm a great listener. I learned from listening. Who can I learn from? And when I started saying that, even on the sales, like when I'm selling Fran and Mary today on their windows, I turn to them instead of me then going off about whatever little thing with the company and how they're gonna be happy. I ask them questions. Hey, how did you guys stay married for so long? What's one secret, right? I always will do that. There's certain little questions I have that just give me tidbits of advice on stuff. That like literally I'm curious. Like that's the thing. And that's how I've gotten learned so much, because people, no matter what position they're at or whatever, like Fran and Mary, they had a nice in-ground pool, right? I don't know if I ever really want an in-ground pool, but like by me asking a question, like it's nice. It was a hot day. I kind of wanted an in-ground pool. He has something that I could teach him on. He got a point in his life where he has an in-ground pool. What did he do, right? So like, and kind of like that, you look at people, if they have what you want, you ask them really good, hard questions, and you can even do that in sales, and it makes them feel more special because they're actually giving you that. And you got to believe that people really care, that people really want to help you and give you advice.
I think curiosity is a great emotion to adapt. And I think, Jeff, for you, like, I remember there were so many times I would talk to you, you would flat out ignore me and not even listen to me. And then I don't know what switched, but you started to listen, and it was not just listening, it was actually listening with like the intent to listen, you know? And you'd be like, okay.
I think it was after Jay died, dude, right?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Because I got focused on learning, and I knew you knew a ton of stuff that I didn't know because you've been studying for a while. And that's why when I say to everybody, like, Jeff, how do you get here? Yeah, 10x roll that. I say, no, Josh Lewis growth. Because I used to sit and ask you questions, or even you would tell me how you solve problems, and I would just sit and listen, dude, and I would learn, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're great at it.
So, Christina, I want to do this. Being authentic. Let's see what you're selling, because we're going to post this on YouTube on both our channels probably. So let's go. We want to go through like a role play of it or no?
What I'm selling?
Yeah.
You want me to try to like literally role play with you, and if I was going to call you?
Yeah, we have to do more of these. I just think it'll be kind of fun for whoever's watching, or we can do that. By the way, I got a comment on your background. Far from the little hoodie girl, you have like perfect lipstick on. You have, this looks like the Clue. It looks like from the Clue board game. And you have like the off the shoulder dress. Like what is this what you dress like at home?
I'm doing a Zoom video with Jeff.
Let's do the role play right now before Josh's fiance comes in.
Okay, so hi, this is Christina. How are you?
I'm busy but good.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. These are some crazy Corona times, so glad to hear everything's going well with you. So I don't know if you remember, you and I met at the XYZ conference. I'm from Invisaware, the smart jewelry and accessories company that could possibly save somebody's life. I was just following up with you to see when you want to book your demo for all of your agents to help keep them safe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so busy. I didn't get really any of that. What are you doing again?
Sure. Yeah, we met at the conference. XYZ conference.
Did we really meet at the conference?
Yes, you remembered my face. Come on, Jeff. You came over and gave me a big hug. We've seen each other quite.
In Vegas? We hugged?
Yeah, we did. It was in Vegas.
Man, how many girls am I hugging that I don't remember?
I mean, that's none of my business. We're not going to get that deep, but I just wanted to follow up with you and book your demo for your agents. I know you were super interested in that. It just takes 10 minutes. It's really quick and easy. The product is amazing. You said it yourself. 2 clicks on the back of this little charm sends a text to the 5 people that they're in trouble and need help, with a link to their GPS location, and it contacts 911. So what about your next sales meeting? When is that? Is that coming up maybe in the next month, this week, next week?
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm just trying to think of when we hug. but I'm right now. It doesn't sound like I might know somebody who might be interested in something like that. So, but I'm not interested right now.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. If you want to send me the text or an email of who that might be that could be interested in it, that would be perfect, Jack. Super appreciated. I know this product would be wonderful for your agents. They would really love to see it. We just pop it on at the end of a team meeting. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes, not long at all. And your agents are going to get a special discount on the product. So how about your next one? Is that coming up, you think, next week? I think
Yeah.
I talked to before you, and she ported me over, said she thought your next sales meeting was next week.
Yeah, that's fine. Next week's fine. Just go ahead, book it. I'll send you a text, and we'll see you then.
Sounds great, Jeff. Thanks so much. I look forward to keeping your agent safe.
Okay, cool. So you do a lot of cold calling?
A lot of it is warm calls, actually.
Warm calls? Okay. So you've watched Grant Cardone and how they tighten up the pitches and stuff, right?
Yeah, I have to work on that. So my stuff,
You get Dave Robards? Because how I would just switch it, because you're really good. You know your product. That's great, right? But what it gets on just like, hi, here's my product, right? And if it's a warm lead and we're interested in it, which we are, then it's a little bit more. But even then, and this is what I've noticed, like I used to cold call windows to people, right? Windows. Nobody wants to do their windows. It's thousands of dollars. And I had success by doing it. And this is can I flip the script and show you how I do it?
Sure.
So, all right. So here, answer the phone.
Hello.
Hey, Christina, this is Jeff C. of JC Tanadi. How you doing today?
Great. How are you, Jeff?
Good. Christina, have you ever heard of JC Tanadi before?
I have not. What is that?
So yeah, this is kind of like a cold call, literally. But really, what just the deal is I'm actually practicing on calling people to see if they have any home repairs they're looking at doing. We just did a big order with Harvey, and we can save $1,000 off if we get a few more window orders on it. Are you looking to do any home improvements at the time?
Not right now. I think especially with the coronavirus, I'm a little weird about people coming around my house. Also, I've been kind of just keeping a little bit of money set aside just because we don't know what's going to be happening. God forbid there's another resurgence of this whole thing.
Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah. So are you working from home right now, or what are you doing with the coronavirus?
Currently, I am working from home right now. Luckily, I do still have my job, but with this economy and everything happening, who knows if that could possibly be taken away. So we're just being very cautious with our money right now. It's kind of just going to like groceries and the essentials, the roof over our head.
Great. Yeah, no, I totally understand. The reason why I'm really calling is because I actually believe if you're doing any home repairs, now is the best time with the way they printed all the money. Any home repairs you do are kind of insured over 20 years. So you're spending less money than you'd be spending a year from now. So that's why. So if you're not, Jason, I just want to remember your name. Give us a call. Do you know anybody else that would be interested in any home repairs?
I'm not sure. I could try to see if any of my friends have some repairs that they're interested in doing. I know some of my friends have families. Maybe they want to expand some rooms or they're putting on additions. Who knows? But I could do that for you.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, and then that's kind of how it ended, right? And that's what I did. I did a whole list of people. But I got our name out there. I actually got a few people who were then interested, or you did that, or they heard of us. So a lot of people didn't hear of us, right? And it was just the way I got it out there. A lot of what I do too is that the people. One thing you learn: the busy people are the people who will buy. They have money. The people who just talk for a little bit, they don't have money, man. They're just talking. They're kind of kicking around. I sold a $25,000 sale with a guy named Bill Wells, who was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm busy." And I knew how to hit it right on the busy guy because I think, okay, multi-millionaire, I'm just trying to sell the Grant. Where old lady, you kind of got to talk and know a little bit about her a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Either way, too, there's the way Grant Cardone, I still got to work on the cold call stuff, but really just like do a big claim and get interest kind of would solve the problem. Big claim and see if they're interested, right? And have you ever seen Antonio White, the Pitch Freak?
No.
So he does this. This is something I teach on all my coaching sessions that he taught me. Actually, maybe we'll cut this part out and I'll put it on the thing. But he does value, emotion, and you can't even see the subtle call to action. Actually, I can do it on the screen here. But it's basically this. Let's turn into a whole thing here. This, and you could just do this with value. So whatever value it offers them, V-A-U-E, sorry. Emotion, by the way, everybody gets on me about my spelling. Emotion, whatever. And then subtle call to action. So this is what I find with people on coaching sessions, right, Josh? I showed you this, right? So what you want to do is you want to just show the value. I usually will read with emotion sometimes, depending on my client. Really connect with them. That's being vulnerable, which is what this whole thing was about. Being authentic is emotion. The value it'll offer them. Hey, this will keep you safe in a riot, And then the subtle call to action is, would you like to hear more? If I could do this, would this interest you? Kind of the day way, right? Or it works differently in and different ways to do it. If you do it over the phone, I'm still have not perfected phone sales. There's a whole Cardone U thing on phone sales that works well. Have you watched that or no?
No, not yet. I have to get in there and.
Yeah, it's good. I just go on Cardone U and I'll go in one spot prospecting over and over until I get to 300 prospects, you know? So
Yeah.
and that's what I do with a book. I'll read a book and I'll just read that one part or read that one book that's good and go hard on it instead of reading like 66 books, you know, that I know is a really good book, you know? So any other questions you had? Sorry, Josh, you back? What are you doing?
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a lot longer. We might cut it. Are there any questions you have, Christina?
Any questions I have? No, this is awesome.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, awesome. We're going to do this weekly. You want to do it every Thursday night, Josh?
Just don't do
Depends
it
on my.
call. Don't forget. Don't do
We'll
it.
do it after the mentor call.
Well, yeah, the Thursday call's an hour. My mentor call. Let me see.
How was the mentor call tonight, Christina?
It was good. I wish that, like, it's really, really good and there's a ton of good information. But for me, I want to get into the nitty gritty, like this stuff that, like, even I'm talking about with you guys. Like, I want to get into the details. I want to get into the weeds. And it's all very, like, top level, like, conceptual to me.
Yeah, so have you gotten to any Dave Robart's calls or Sherry the breakout calls? Have you gone to any of those?
Yeah, those to me are the best things ever. Like, that's where I feel like.
Right. So that's where you need, and they realize that they run it more like Grant Cardone does. Bunch of, this is what we're selling here, a little bit of content, and then we're gonna sell here, right?
I know. Like, stop trying to sell me on your products. Give me like what I paid for, please. Like,
they're sales, man. I love it. I really like it.
I know, but like, I'm really like eager for the information and the details. So like that,
Yeah.
to me, I'm just like,
No,
oh,
I know you are.
know.
No, it's good. All right. So yeah, I always stand up for my boy Grant, no matter what. We're gonna actually do a live in-person interview, and I'm gonna make him money when I interview him on my Make More Money podcast. Very honored for that. We won't even do that for Dana White.
I'm not complaining in that way. It's great. It's great. It's just that I'm very detail oriented and analytical, so I'm always like looking for that part of things.
That's good. That's why there's more of this. We're gonna open this up to more people. So guys, thank you so much for listening to the Growth Show by Josh Lewis. Now posted on Jeff J. Cunningham's Jeff the Entrepreneur's YouTube channel. And you can find it on Josh Lewis' Growth YouTube channel. Always coming out with weekly videos for us. Click like, subscribe, and share this video. If you knew anybody who was having a hard time being authentic, this might have helped, because also I was authentic this whole time. So next week, guys, what are we talking about next week? You want to pick the topic?
Yeah, let's talk about.
Sex?
Why don't we just talk? That was good. Why don't we just talk about role playing in sales, right?
Okay, yeah, boom. Good. We'll do that, and then I'll push it out to the crowd. So guys, and we'll have people on, and we'll talk about it. We'll go through everything. Maybe we'll work on it daily, so we'll prevent it. Maybe I'll even get I'll get a big guest to come by, maybe. You know?
Oh.
Well, you don't need to do that yet.
All right, I gotta go to bed, dude. I'm tired.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been great. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Sleep. Don't count sheep. Just go to sleep. My dreams keep me awake. I actually have work to do. Josh Rockwood, I apologize.
All right.